Today we're going to read 2 times the Fun, chapter 4, Janet's Thingamages. I can't find the thingamages, Mother said when Jimmy fell down and skinned his knee. What happened to the thingamages? Thingamages is a word Mother sometimes used when she was excited or in a hurry. Janet enjoyed finding what thingamages meant each time her mother used the word. This time it meant band-aids. While Mother took care of Jimmy's knee, Janet found a red plastic paper clip, a little wheel, and a shiny bead. They were just right to hold in her hand. "Are these thingamages?" she asked. Mother laughed and said, "Yes, you can call those thingamages." Janet carried her things around all morning. She showed them to Mr. Lemon when he brought the mail. "See my thingamages?" she said. "Well, what do you know? Thingamages." Mr. Lemon sounded surprised. At lunchtime, Janet laid her plastic paper clip, her little wheel, and her shiny bead on a chair in a living room and said, "I don't want Jimmy to touch these things." "They're just old stuff," said Jimmy, who wanted very much to touch them. So he did. He touched them every time Janet wasn't looking. He liked to hold them too. He touched them until Janet caught him and said, "Jimmy, those are my thingamages." "No," said Jimmy, holding on to them. "Mother, Jimmy won't give me my thingamages," said Janet. "And I asked him in a nice, polite voice." "I'm not hurting them," said Jimmy, who could be stubborn. "Jimmy, give me my thingamages," yelled Janet. Her voice was not polite at all. "No," said Jimmy, and turned his back. Janet pushed Jimmy. Jimmy yelled, "Janet is pushing me." Then he pushed Janet. "Children," cried Mother as she came out of the kitchen. "Stop this at once, Jimmy. Give Janet her little things. You can find toys of your own." Jimmy threw Janet's things on the floor. "I don't want other toys," he shouted. Janet picked up her things and put them on the chair. "I don't want Jimmy to touch my thingamages," she said. Mother said, "Janet, you cannot leave on the chair. When Daddy comes home, he wants to sit on the chair. He doesn't want to sit on your toys. If you don't want Jimmy to touch your things, you should put them away." So Janet found a paper bag on the kitchen. She put the red plastic paper clip on the wheel and a shiny bead into the bag, wrapped a rubber band on the top, and put it on her little bed. "Now Jimmy can't touch my thingamages," she said. "I don't want to touch Janet's things," said Jimmy, but he did want to touch them more than anything. The next day, Janet found a spool, a doll's shoe, and a grooved green stone. She carried her little things around while Jimmy pretended to put air on the tires on his dump truck. She showed them to Mr. Lemon, who was surprised all over again. Then she laid her little things on a chair and went into Mother and Daddy's room to help Mother make the big bed. When she came back, Jimmy was not playing with his dump truck. He was holding her spool, her doll shoe, and her smooth green stone. "Jimmy is touching my thingamages," Johnny cried. "He took them from the blue chair." "Children, I am my wits' end," said Mother. What does my wits' end mean?" asked Janet. "It means I don't know what to do," answered Mother. "Jimmy, give Janet her things." Jimmy threw the toys on the floor. "I am too big for those things, he said. They're just junk. They are not junk, said Janet. They are my treasures. Jimmy only pretended to play with his dump truck while she picked up her treasures and laid them to a blue chair again. Janet, said Mother, you cannot leave your things on the blue chair. I don't want to sit on your toys. I told you if you don't want Jimmy to touch them, you should put them away. I am at my wits' end, said Janet. Then she found another paper bag in the kitchen. She put her spool, her doll shoe, and her smooth green stone into paper bag. She put a rubber band around the top of the bag and put it on her little bed. Now Jimmy can't touch my thingamages, she said. The next day, the same thing happened with the feather, a piece of pink yarn, and an old lipstick case. And the day after that, the same thing happened with the little stick, pretty leaf, and an empty snail shell. Every day, Janet found little things, and every day she put them into paper bags on her hand, where Jimmy cannot touch them. One day, Mother said, Janet, your bed is full of paper bags. When you go to sleep, you'll rustle like a mouse in a waste paper basket. Don't you want to share some of your paper bags with Jimmy? No, said Janet, as she climbed over a rail of her little bed. These are my paper bags. Oh dear, what are we going to do? Asked Mother. Janet's bed is so full of paper bags. She wrestles like a mouse in a waste paper basket. There is scarcely room for her to sleep. What are we going to do? Paper bags are silly, said Jimmy, as he climbed over the rail of his bed. Neither twin would let Mother remove the sides of the little beds. Climbing over the rail was fun. Paper bags are not silly, said Janet. Paper bags are nice. But Janet, you have too many, said Mother. We'll have to find another place for your paper bags. I like being mouse in a waste paper basket, said Janet. And she went right on finding little things and putting them in the waste paper basket on her bed. Every night she said, squeak, squeak, I'm a little mouse. Grr, grr, I'm a fierce bear, said Jimmy. He did not sound like a fierce bear. He sounded like a cross boy. Then one morning Mother said, today we're going to have a surprise. Is it strawberries? Asked Jimmy. Is it nice, soft kitten? Asked Janet. No, it isn't. Strawberries are nice, soft kitten. Answered Mother. You wait and see. Jimmy and Janet thought and thought, but they could not think what Mother's surprise could be. If you watch it out on the front window, you will see. You will see sometimes this morning, said Mother. Jimmy and Janet watched out the front window. When is it going to come? When is it going to come? They asked over and over. They saw a boy riding bicycle, a girl skipping rope, and a lady carrying a shopping bag. They saw cars, tow truck, and a school bus. But they did not see a surprise. After all, while they grew tired of watching and turned their little table upside down, they pretended it was a boat. And then, when the twins happened to look out the window, a big delivery truck came slowly on the street, paused, and turned the driveway. Jimmy and Janet's driveway. Two men got out of the truck. They opened the back, lifted something else out, and set it on the grass. It was a bed. They lifted out another bed and set it on the grass too. Grown-up beds! Beds! Shouted Janet. Mother, are those beds for us? Yes, answered Mother. You're growing up. It's time for you to have big beds. The men carried one bed into the house and set it on Janet's side on the room. They carried the other bed on the house and set it on Jimmy's side of the room. There you are, kids, one of them said. Sleep tight and don't let the bed bugs bite. Jimmy and Janet bounced up and down until their new grown-up beds. On their new grown-up beds, while Mother stood on the hall, watched. What will you do with our little beds? asked Janet asked Mother as she bounced. Maybe you could have a garage sale with me, Mother answered. We'll send them to Goodwill. Then Jimmy stopped bouncing. What is Janet going to do with her paper bags? He asked. They will fall off her bed. Janet stopped them bouncing. She took her paper bags from an old little bed and piled them to a new grown-up bed. When she climbed out of her bed, the paper bag slid all over the floor. Ha ha, said Jimmy. Jimmy can have my old paper bag, said Janet. I'm not a mouse. I'm a big girl and I sleep on a big bed. I don't want Janet's paper bag, said Jimmy. I'm too big to play with little junk. So am I, said Janet. The twins began to bounce again. We're big, they sang while Mother tried to gather up all Janet's paper bags. Then Jimmy and Janet heard Mr. Lemon poking letters and catalogs through the slot of the front door. They jumped off their beds and ran to meet him. Mr. Lemon, they shouted when they opened the doors. We have big beds. Wow, big beds, said Mr. Lemon. Jimmy and Janet could tell he was really surprised. Say, you're growing up, said Mr. Lemon. I never would have guessed. Growing up, that was what Jimmy and Janet wanted more than anything in the whole world. We're growing up, they said. We're growing up. Mr. Lemon said so, and he had learned a thing or two in his lifetime. This is the end of 2 Times the Fun by Beverly Clearly.